Because I hate the sound of my own voice, I'm going to use this old man voice in order to do my project. So let's just dive in. For my fourth quarter junior project, I decided to do the Battle of the Milvian Bridge. Why? Because I was there. The Battle of the Milvian Bridge was between two Roman emperors, Constantine I and Maxentius, on October 28th, the year 312. Now this battle gets its name from the Milvian Bridge, which was an important route over the Tiber River. But before I talk to you about the battle, you have to know why they fought. The Constantine thought that he should be emperor because he was the son of Western Emperor Constantius, who died on July 25th in the year 306. The problem with this is that the ideology did not have the powers passed down through their family at the time. Maxentius thought that he should be emperor because his father, Maximian, was emperor after Constantius' death. The difference between these claims of power was that Constantius was recognized by Galerius, ruler of the eastern provinces, whereas Maxentius simply took control. The strange thing about this was that Constantine and Maximus never really crossed paths in a negative way. I remember because they would always walk past each other and they never really said anything to each other. It was just like, hey man, how's it going? How's the weather? Oh, it's alright. Oh, okay. But in the year 312, Constantine and Maxentius were engaged in open hostility with one another, and Constantine decides to kill Maxentius. This is also weird because Constantine is married to Maxentius' sister, Fausta.
It's at this point that I realize how corny this old man voice is, but I gotta commit to this.
On the day before the battle, Constantine and his forces were going towards Maxentius. And, who was it? Oh yeah, right, it was Constantine. Constantine looks up at the sun, and he sees what is now known as the Cairo. Next to the Cairo, he saw the Greek words that are translated into Latin as in hoc signo vinces, which means, in this sign you shall conquer. Now, Constantine did not know what this meant, so that night he had a dream, and God told him that if he put that sign on all his weapons, he would win the battle. So before the battle, Maxentius decides that he wants to partially destroy the bridge, the Milvian Bridge, in order to stop Constantine from crossing over into Rome. But at the same time, he built another bridge so that he and his forces can stop Constantine before he gets to Rome. Maxentius wanted to prevent Constantine from crossing over into Rome, so what he decided to do was to send his troops to the other side of the Tiber River. Now, on the other side of the Tiber River, what happened was that the battle was very close. The battle was very even, and the fight could win either way. The problem with Maxentius sending his troops to the other side of the Tiber River meant that if they got pushed back, they would have to retreat on the new wooden bridge or get pushed back into the Tiber River. And that's exactly what happened. Constantine and his forces were able to push back Maxentius and his troops into the Tiber River, And the ones that didn't go into the Tide River and drown immediately, they got onto the bridge. But the problem with them going across the bridge was the fact that the bridge didn't break. Now, historians have debated whether or not Maxentius knew that the bridge was going to break and whether or not it was for Constantine and his troops, but this is still unknown to this day. And the troops that didn't drown turned into prisoners or slaves. Now, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that after the drowning, I'm pretty sure that Constantine went across the partially destroyed Milvian Bridge in order to get into Rome. And the whole building a new bridge thing didn't really work out for Maxentius. The day after Constantine defeats Maxentius, they fish out his body. And when they fish out his body, they decide to cut his head off. And then they take his head and they put it on a stick and they parade it around town. And the people there cheer because they didn't like Maxentius.
After this, Constantine realized that God was the one that helped him win that battle. And with the help of some guy whose name starts with an L, he creates the Edict of Milan. Let me draw Constantine's sons more appropriately. Um, his sons, however, didn't really follow this whole Christian mood, and they kinda rebelled against it, one would say. But after them, um, Christianity really took off in Rome and became the official religion of Rome. And after it took over Rome, it took over Europe, and has the significance of the battle of the Milvian Bridge. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Probably didn't, because you taught it all, but whatever.